Good morning and welcome to OMG Crochet and Crafts. Today we are making the Whole Lotta Love Cardigan. And the cardigan is made with, it's any double knit yarn, any yarn you want to use really. I think all of my tutorials can be made with any yarn you want to use. However, just given the lace pattern and the stitch requirement, the number of stitches you're going to need, I would say a DK or a 4-ply even would be best for this project. So I'm using Knitco's good old-fashioned double knit. I'm also using my 3.5mm hook. I'm going to be working on the front piece of my cardigan. However, the pattern for the back piece will be the same. So in order to get your measurements for your back piece, you measure, there's no picture here, but you measure from the shoulder joint to the shoulder joint across your shoulders on the top. Now for me, that measurement is 55 centimeters. Which means I cast on, I chained, I keep saying cast on because I guess I started as a knitter. But anyway, I chained 88 stitches for my back panel. Now, the lace pattern is a multiple of 14 stitches plus 4. This is why I say a double knit or smaller is more ideal, because if you have to add on an extra 7 or 8 stitches to an Aran weight yarn or a medium weight yarn, it's going to give you an extra, 2 or 3 inches, which would make your cardigan too big. So for me, I cast on 88 stitches for my back panel, which is a multiple of 14 plus 4. So 84 would have been the multiple of 14, and then the 4 extra stitches. Now for my front panels, my first one, I chained 46 stitches to start, so 42 being the multiple of 14, and then 4 extra stitches. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing for this front panel and chain 46 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there we have our 46 chains, and we are going to jump right into this lace pattern. So in the 4th chain from our hook, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to work a double crochet. 1, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 5th. We're going to work 2 double crochets. Oh, whoops, that didn't work out as planned. 1 and 2. And then in the next 3 chains, we're going to work 3 double crochets. So 1 double crochet per chain. So 1, 2, and 3. And in the next chain, we're going to work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. We are then going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And into the 5th one, we're going to do 3 double crochets. 3 double crochets into the same chain. 1, 2, and 3. We're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and into the 5th chain, we're going to do 2 double crochets. And then into the next 3 chains, we're going to do a double crochet into every chain. And then into the next stitch, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 4, 2, 3, 4, and into the next chain, we are going to work 3 double crochets. We are then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to work 2 double crochets. And then in the next 3, we're going to work a double crochet in each. And then in the next double crochet, we're going to work, in the next chain, we're going to work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the very last chain, we're going to work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, and that is the first row of your cardigan. It doesn't look like much right now, but I promise you it works up into a beautiful heart pattern. And so this cardigan has 2 different heart patterns in it. One is worked from the bottom up, so the front panels and the back panels are worked from the bottom up. And then once you get to your sleeves, there's a separate heart pattern where we work from the top down. So they end up looking the same, but in order to get the hearts to lie the right way on the sleeves, I had to deconstruct the lace pattern and put it back together to work it from the top down. Okay, so let's move on to row 2. We're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work, and into this first double crochet, we're gonna do 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay, we're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm hoping my hands are on camera. Okay, into this next into this. My mind went blank there for a second. My brain fog took over. Into this section here, you can see we've got 7 double crochets that we're working with here. So we're going to take 4 of them and work them all together. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to finish all of those off in one full sweep like that. Chain 1 to finish that stitch off. All right, we're then going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now into that stitch where we've done our last double crochet on that side, we're going to pick that one up again, and that's going to be the first double crochet, first double crochet for this next one. And then again, we're going to put the other 3 into the same stitch. So it's 4 double crochets, 2 together, 4 double crochets together, chain 5, and then 4 double crochets together using the end stitch. Oh, I don't know how I'm explaining myself. Bear with me. Okay, so it's 4 double crochets together, and then we chain 5, and then using the last stitch that we double crocheted together on this side, we're going to pick that one up again and double crochet 4 together on this side as well. Okay, I hope that makes better sense this time. Okay, we're then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and into this these 3 double crochets, we're going to do 2 double crochets in the first stitch, a double crochet in the second stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch, like so. So we're going to go 1 and 2. We're going to double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 into the third stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, we're then going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. We are going to double crochet 4 together. So 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to double crochet those all together, chain it up to finish the stitch, and then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then using that double crochet there, we're going to double crochet into it again and double crochet these 4 stitches together. Okay, and then like so. We're then going to finish that off with a chain and chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the first stitch, a double crochet in the middle stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the end stitch. And then 1, 2, 3, we are going to double crochet 4 together, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull those together with a chain. We're going to chain 5, and then we're going to double crochet 4 together. And then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to have 2 double crochets in this first stitch. 1 and 2, and then we're going to double crochet into the top chain from the previous round, like so. Okay, and that is our second row. You can see each of the hearts starting to form now. Just pulling some more yarn out so I don't have to be interrupted again. And okay, so we're going to chain 3. To start the row, we chain 3. And then we're going to double crochet, 1 double crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the second. So 1 and 2. We're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and into this middle chain between these 2 double crochet full togethers, we are going to do 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Then going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 2 double crochets into the first stitch. 1 and 2. A horrible habit of playing hard to get with my yarn and my hook. We're going to do 3 double crochets into the middle 3 double crochets, and then 2 double crochets into the one at the end. 1 and 2. Then I'm going to chain 3, and again we're going to work 3 double crochets into the middle chain between our hearts. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into the end stitch. 1 and 2. We're going to work 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And into the end stitch on this side, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. We're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to work 3 double crochets into the middle stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then into this first stitch, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. To your next stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. And we're going to double crochet into the top chain from the previous round. Come on, there we go. Okay, we're then going to chain 4 this round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, put that back on my hook. Turn your work. And we are going to double crochet these 3 stitches together. So 1, 2, and 3. And then pull all 3 together. And then we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 double crochets in the outside stitch. 1, 2. A double crochet in the middle. And then 2 double crochets in the outside stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, and then we're going to chain 3. I'm going to have to pause a sec. I've got something in my eye. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So we've done the first little heart pattern. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to double crochet 4 together. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to double crochet those all together. And those off the chain, so we can chain 5. 3, 4, 5. We're then going to double crochet the 4 on this side together. 2, 3, 4, like so. And then we're going to chain 3, and then on this side we're going to do 2 double crochets, and then a double crochet in the middle, and then on this side we're going to do 2 double crochets. Okay, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 4 double crochets together for the 4 on this side, and double crochet those all together. We chain 5, and then double crochet the 4 on this side together. And remember, when I say the 4 on this side and the 4 on this side, you double crochet that middle stitch into both sides. Okay, so there are only 7 stitches, so you double crochet that middle stitch into both sides. And then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet 2 into this side, double crochet 1, and then double crochet 2 into this side. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to double crochet 3 together with the 3 on this side, with the 3 double crochets, and we're going to double crochet those together with the chain 1, and then a double crochet into that very top stitch, like so. Okay, and that is your heart pattern. Okay, you continue to work this pattern. I'll go through it with you again one more time, or I'm pretty sure you could stop and record, but I'm going to go through it again with you one more time. That's your heart pattern. Now, for your cardigan, this pattern, for me, I did 8 solid heart pattern repeats going up. It depends on how you want the length of your cardigan to be. Now, I've got quite a long torso, which is why mine is as long as it is. If you want your cardigan a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, follow your heart. This is entirely customizable too. Well, I say entirely customizable. You're still doing the heart pattern if you want to do this crochet, but the shape of the cardigan, the size of the cardigan is entirely customizable to you. So yes, that is your heart pattern. Do it as long or as short as you want it to be. I'm going to do one more pattern repeat with you before I start showing you the decreases for the neck and the shoulder. Okie dokie. So like we did in the beginning, well, for every row you chain 3, 2, 3, return, and then we're going to do 1 double crochet into the same stitch here. We move forward again. Okay, we are then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2, and then we're going to work 3 double crochets across. 1, 2, and 3. And then into this next stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochets. We're then going to chain 3, And into the center chain here, we are going to work, center chain, 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Need to pull more yarn. And we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to work 2 double crochets into this next stitch. Whoops. We're then going to work 3 double crochets across. 1, 2, 3. And then into our next stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. We're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And into the center stitch of these chain 5s, we are going to work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. We're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then into this next stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Going to work 3 double crochets across. 1, 2, and 3. Then into this final stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochets. Then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And into the top chain, we're going to work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn the work. Pull some more yarn. And into our first double crochet, we are going to work 2 double crochets. Hang on, into it properly. There we go. Work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We are then going to work 4 double crochets together. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull those all together and seal it with a chain. We're then going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to crochet 4 together again using that middle stitch as our first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and pull those all together. Seal it with a chain. We're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to do 2 double crochets into this next stitch. 1 and 2. Double crochet into our center stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 1 and 2. I know I'm going pretty fast, but I also know that you guys can pause this at any point. And this is also the second time that I'm doing the pattern repeat, so I'm hoping that do you know what? Let me know if I'm going too fast on this one. If it's an issue, I can make sure that I slow down for our next tutorial. Okay, if it's not an issue, I hope it's not an issue, but if it is an issue, let me know and I'll make sure to slow down on the next tutorial. All right, we're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to crochet the 4 on this side together. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to pull those 4 together, seal it with a chain 5, and then do the 4 on this side together, which includes the center stitch again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then pull those all together. Okay, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're then going to do a double crochet, 2 double crochets on this side, 1 and 2, 1 double crochet in the middle, and then a double crochet on the other side. So, 2 double crochets on the other side. 2. We're then going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to double crochet the 4 on this side together. Pull all of those together, seal it with a chain. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then including that middle stitch as your first double crochet, we're then going to double crochet the 4 on this side together. And pull all of those together. Okay, chain 3. And then we are going to do 2 double crochets into our double crochet. And into the top chain, we are going to do 1 double crochet. Okay, we're going to chain 3. Whoops, 1, 2, and 3. It's not helping. And turn our work. Okay, and into our first double crochet is just going to be a double crochet, and into the next one we are going to do 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. We are then going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And into the very center chain of these 5 chains, center chain, we are going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do 2 double crochets into this side here. 1 and 2. We're going to do 3 double crochets across. 1, 2, and 3. And then into this side here, we're going to do another 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then into the center chain of these chains, we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to do 2 double crochets into the side. 1 and 2. We're going to double crochet into the next 3 going across. And then we're going to double crochet into the last one. 1 and 2. Going to chain 3, and into the center chain we are going to double crochet 3. We're going to chain 3 again. Into the very outside stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And then double crochet in your next double crochet, like so, and then double crochet into the top chain from your previous round, like so. Okay, and now that we're at the point where we double crochet 3 together on this side, we're actually going to start with a chain of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn your work. You just pull some more yarn out. Okay, and we're then going to double crochet these 3 together. So 1, 2, and 3. Double crochet those together, so with a chain, and we're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. We do 2 double crochets into this first double crochet. 1 and 2. 1 in the middle, and then 2 on the other side. Okay, we're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to do 4 double crochets together. Chain 5. And do 4 double crochets together. Okay, and remember that middle double crochet is included in both of the double crochet 4 togethers. Okay, we're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do 2 double crochets and 1 in the center, and then 2 double crochets on the other side. And chain 3. 2, 3. We're going to double crochet 4 together. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'll fix those with a chain, and then chain 5. And then double crochet the 4 on this side together, remembering to start with that center stitch. 2, 3, and 4. Pull that all together. And we are going to 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to double crochet 2 into this side. 1 and 2. 1 into the center. And then 2 into the other side. 1 and 2. I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to double crochet 3 together. 1, 2, 3, pull those all together, the chain, and then double crochet into the top chain of the previous round. Okay, and that is your heart pattern. Okay, so now that we've worked this heart pattern, let's go over some details. Obviously, your back panel is going to be wider than this, so you are going to have more hearts going across it than this. I'm going under the assumption that you obviously understand that and that your pattern will be wider than this piece. Now, also, we're going on the length of your cardigan. I think I touched on that before. Mine was from the start of the front to the last heart for the shoulder was 8 hearts tall, but I'm going to show you my the cardigan that's currently in the making. You're actually going to see my design process here. Sorry, my coaster was stuck to my mug. So what I do when I design is that I will start, and I'll get quite far before I'll start doing the tutorial. So this is where I'm at the moment. And this is all to make sure that the design works before I start showing you how to make it. So let me take this out a bit. There we go. So you can see this is my cardigan. I've got one sleeve done already. And I've got both of the front panels and the back panel done, and they're all sewn together as well. Okay, so now you can see that this, I'm going to turn this to the side so you can see it better. This is my front panel. Okay, so from this, the bottom corner to right up until where it's sewn up on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 hearts tall, not 8. Sorry, that's my apologies. So I think I may have mistaken that for a full heart. But anyway, this is how tall it is. But you can see that I start shaping for the neck after 5 hearts, I want to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so, but I'm doing it after a full heart every time. So after this heart, we stop and we bring it in a little bit. So we're not doing up till the corner. We stop and we bring it into the middle of the next heart before we turn our work and go. And then this heart, we cut the break, goes an entire pattern across. Does that make sense? But I'm going to show you how to do this now anyway. So once you need to have this part of your cardigan. This part here will come up directly up against your neck. Okay, so this comes down a little bit lower than your neck, probably your clavicle. Okay, so make sure that from your clavicle down, your cardigan is as long as you want it to be. And just know that we do the neck opening over 2 full heart patterns. Okay? So 2 full heart patterns. That's half. And that's a full. So yeah, so 2 full heart patterns. So however long your cardigan is, just remember that it's going to have an extra 2 full heart patterns on it in length once we get the neck opening and shoulder divide done. Okay, so now that I've shown you the cardigan, I'm going to show you how to do the neck increase, and then we'll get onto the sleeve. So we need to get this heart here up to being a full heart before we can do the pattern for it, the decrease for the neck. So we're going to do, so that's going to be an extra 2 rows. So we're going to do 2 more rows in our heart pattern. I'm going to get that done, and I will come back to you once I have got that pattern done. Okay, so here we are at the point where we need to start decreasing for the neck opening. Obviously, your piece is going to be longer, but this is just my demonstration piece, if you will. So I've already completed the front panels for mine. As you saw previously, I showed you the cardigan. So this is where we are going to start the decreases for the front panels. And essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving these stitches over by one. Okay, and we're going to do that with every heart, and let me show you what I mean by that. So to start the row, again, chain 3, turn your work, and you work these stitches as normal right up until you get to this heart here. We're going to work these stitches as normal. So let me get that done and I will come back to you. Okay, so I have worked up until this last finished heart. I've stopped one piece before that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to work the same stitches I would work into these stitches into here. Okay, so I've worked up until this final heart pattern here would be the next stitch that I'm going to work into. Okay, so what we're going to do is work what we would have worked into this stitch here. Okay, so I'm going to work 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Okay, and then immediately I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn my work, and then I'm going to work 2 double crochets into this next stitch. 1 and 2. And then we're going to work back across the pattern as usual. So we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do 4 double crochets together. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull those together. Finish with a chain 5, and then 4 double crochets again using that middle stitch as your first double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Finish that off, seal it with a chain. Okay, we're going to work the pattern back across this row and then I'll come back to you for the next step. So as you can see, we have made our first small decrease around the neck. Okay, the next one is going to be a larger decrease, just because we need to make sure that we've got the opening right in our neck. So the next decrease, we're going to work, the next row, we're going to work these first 2 hearts as normal. So I'm going to get that done and I will come back to you for the next steps. Okay, so done the first 2 heart patterns as normal, and as we're coming up to our third, again, so we're going to do as normal the 2 double crochets. In fact, we're going to work this heart pattern as normal. We're just going to stop before we get to our chains. So we're doing the 3 center double crochets, and then 2 in this final double crochet, right? We're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, but instead of working into our heart, we are going to turn our work. Okay, and we're going to use that chain 3 as the first double crochet, and we're then going to chain. We're then going to double crochet 4 together. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. This time we don't have to, this time there's 4 on either side, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can just double crochet those 4 together. 4 like, 4 like so, and then pull through, seal with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet 2 into this first stitch, one into the center stitch, 2 into the outside stitch, and then chain 3, double crochet 4 together, 1, 2, 3 and 4, pull out closed with a chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then double crochet 4 together using that middle double crochet as your first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, pull those all together, secure the chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. We're then gonna 2 double crochets in this first double crochet and 1 double crochet in the top chain of the previous row. And chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn, but that's come off my hook. There we go. So turn. Okay, we are now at the last decrease on this row. Now you can continue decreasing if your piece is wider than mine. You can continue decreasing if you'd like a wider neck hole, but bear in mind that this will be half of it. It's quite, I think it's going to be large enough, but let's go. So we're going to do the first 2 hearts as normal, and then I'll come back to you for the steps of the 3rd heart. So we're now working on the sleeve of our cardigan. Now, as I said previously, the sleeves are also done, the pattern for the lace is a separate pattern on the sleeve than it is from the body. The hearts on the body are worked from the bottom up, whereas the hearts on the sleeve are worked from the top down. There's also an additional row in the hearts on the sleeves. Just gives the hearts a little bit more definition, I think. I think they look pretty. You can't really, I suppose you can notice the difference. Hang on, where's the sleeve? There. So you can definitely see that the hearts on the sleeves are that little bit bigger. But you know, it's not a huge difference. I don't think people are going to notice it unless they're looking out for it. So when we pick up stitches, I've already picked up my stitches, picked up and single crocheted around the sleeve. Now I've done this again in multiples of 14. I've done 28 on the front from the underarm to the shoulder and 28 from the back from the underarm to the shoulder. And this gives us 4 pattern repeats going around the sleeves. Now I've got quite chunky arms. So 56 stitches going around isn't quite large enough for my for the sleeve to be comfortable. I don't ordinarily mind a tight sleeve, but I still want it to be comfortable. So what I've done is in the chains in between all of my hearts. So there is the option to make those chains 4 chains, 3 chains, or 2 chains. Because I know having a multiple of 14 it's quite a large variation, you know. So if 56 stitches is too tight for you, having an extra 14 stitches is an extra 2.5, 3 inches. And you know, while the sleeve might be tightly too slight, it's not 3 inches too tight. So yeah, in the heart pattern around the sleeve, we can make the sleeve slightly bigger or slightly smaller, just using different sizes of chains around the heart. So when I say the word chains, unless I give you a specific number of chains, which I will do a few times or a couple of instances, if you work 4 chains, you'll be working a large sleeve. If you work 3 chains, you'll be working the normal sleeve. And if you work 2 chains, you'll be working a smaller sleeve. So that just gives you a little bit of control over how big or small, or how the sleeve fits you, rather. Right, so let's get started with the sleeve. Like I said, I have done a row of single crochets of 56 stitches around the sleeve. I would suggest picking up and crocheting 56 stitches around the sleeve, unless you can get a multiple of 14 that fits you perfectly. So if you can get a multiple of 14 that fits you perfectly, the chains around the hearts should all be 3, unless I give you a specific number. But if you need to make your sleeve a little bit larger, do 4 chains. If you need to do them a little bit smaller, do 2 chains. I hope that makes sense. I'll only know if that makes sense once I listen back to the editing, when I'm editing the video. So fingers crossed it works. I don't want to have to frog a whole sleeve just to have to explain it better. Okay, so the sleeves are worked in continuous rounds as well. They're not worked, we're not joining up each round. So your sleeve, the pattern will start with your chains. So like I said, I'm doing 4 for a larger sleeve. If your multiple of 14s is perfect for you, do 3. If you need to make your sleeves a little bit smaller, do 2. That is the last time I'm going to say it. So if I say chain, just pick your specific number and work with that. Okay, so our sleeve pattern starts with the chain. You're then going to skip 3 stitches, so 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. We're going to split a double crochet. Now, a split double crochet is essentially a double crochet 2 together, but it'll have a stitch in between it. So we'll split it by doing the first half of the double crochet 2 together in this stitch here. We're then going to skip this chain next to it and do the next half of a double crochet 2 together in that. Okay, and then another 3 double crochets in that same stitch. You're then going to chain. We're going to skip 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 5 double crochets. Again, we're going to chain. Going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets into the next stitch. We're then going to do a split double crochet, which is the first half of a double crochet in the same stitch as those 3 double crochets. We're going to skip the chain next to it and do the other half of a double crochet 2 together in the next stitch. And we're going to follow that with 3 more double crochets. We're going to chain. Skip 3 stitches and 5 double crochets. Sorry, I didn't know what I was doing for a second there. Okie dokie, and that should be the first half of your sleeve done. Okay, I'm going to finish off the other half of the sleeve. I'll come back to you at the beginning of the next row. Okie dokie, we're going to start our next row. And we're going to start the row off with a chain. Still the same as you were working the row before. And now we are going to work a double crochet in each of the double crochets we worked for. So that's 7 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we're going to chain. And we're going to work a double crochet 2 together. That's 1, 2, and together a double crochet, and then a double crochet 2 together. So again, we're going to chain. We're going to work a double crochet in each of the double crochets, and that should be 7. I hope my hands are on camera there. And yep, they are on camera there too, that's fine. So I have a nasty little habit of working with my hands just off camera, which I suppose you know if you've seen any of my other tutorials. I do try and keep them in the center, I promise. It just doesn't always work out as planned. We're then going to chain, getting back to our sleeve. And we're going to do double crochet 2 together. So 1, 2, and together, double crochet, and then a double crochet 2 together. So 1, 2, and together. So that's the pattern. If you repeat that for the back half of your sleeve, and I'll come back to start the next row. So we're going to start off with our chain. And then into our first heart, we are going to double crochet 2 together, double crochet 3, and then double crochet 2 together on the other end. Okay, and now where we chain this time, we chain 5. It doesn't matter what size sleeve you're working on, chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in this pattern here, we are gonna double crochet 3 together. So 1, 2, and when we do this double crochet 3 together, I'm going into this part of the double crochet 2 together on the previous row. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, and together. I really hope you can't hear my washing machine in the background. It's being super loud. I apologize if you can, but I have housework to do today. Okay, so after our double crochet 3 together, we're going to chain 5 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're then going to double crochet 2 together. So 1, 2, and together, and then double crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're then going to double crochet 2 together. 1, 2. Okay. From there, we are going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to double crochet 2 together. 3 together. 1, 2, and 3, and together. And again, we're going to chain 5. So after this chain 5, I'm going to finish the rest of the row, and I will come back to you when we're ready to start the next row. Okay, so we finished the round, and I've done a chain 5 to finish. That's important. Don't forget to finish off with a chain 5. Okay, and to start the next round, we are going to double crochet 2 together. 1 and 2, and together. I'm going to double crochet 1, and then double crochet 2 together on the other side. Okay, we're then going to chain. So whether you were doing 2 for a small sleeve, 3 for a normal sleeve, or 4 for a large sleeve, you're going to chain whatever number that was. One, 3, 4, and then into the middle chain of this chain 5, we are going to do 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and and 3. And then we're going to do a split double crochet, so half a DC2 together on this side and half a DC2 together in the middle chain on the other side. There we go. And then 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. We're then going to chain. And then we're going to double crochet 2 together to start this pattern. And together, going to double crochet 1. And then we're going to double crochet 2 together on this side. Like so. We're going to chain again. And we are going to double crochet, do 3 double crochets in the center chain. Oops. 1, 2, and 3. Then a split double crochet, so 1, and then the other side in the center of these 5 chains, like so. And another 3 double crochets, so 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to chain, and I'm going to finish the other side of this sleeve, and I will come back to you at the beginning of the next row. So to start off the next round, we are going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in this first heart here, we are going to double crochet 3 together. 1, 2, and 3 together. And then double crochet 5. Sorry, chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. And then we are going to work 7 double crochets across this heart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and a double crochet 3 together. So 1, 2, and 3, and together. Then chain 5. And then we're going to work 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that is your pattern. So I'm going to finish the rest of this row, and I'll come back to you at the beginning of the next row. Okay, so we finished that row, and that row was actually the final row of our pattern repeat. Now I'm going to do one more row with you just because there are slight differences between the setup row that we did for the pattern and this row. For example, how we do that is across the chain 5s rather than, and then there were no decreases in that section there. So I'm going to show you how to do the setup row, but every other row is going to be exactly the same. So let's get this setup row done, and then I will go through what you need to do for the rest of the sleeve. Okay, so to start this row, we are going to chain, and then into the middle chain of this first chain 5, we are going to do 3 double crochets, 1, whoops, 2, 3, a split double crochet, so half in this side and half in the middle DC of these chains, like so, and then another 3 double crochets. And then we're going to chain, and we are going to double crochet 2 together. I didn't chain enough, so I'm going to chain, and double crochet 2 together, and double crochet 3, and double crochet 2 together, and chain. Oh, sorry, itchy nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets, 1, whoops, 2, 3, and a split double crochet, and 1, 2, 3, and chain, and then double crochet 2 together, three double crochets, and then a double crochet 2 together, and that is it. I'm going to finish off the rest of this row, and I'll come back to you at the end of the row and talk you through what needs to be done for the sleeve. Okay, so we finished one pattern repeat on the sleeve, and now to keep working the sleeve, keep working in this pattern, you want another 1.5 pattern repeats, if I'm correct. Yes, so where this heart is, you want to have 2 full hearts here. So you've got 1.5 pattern repeats left to go on this sleeve. Now when you get to the second heart on this heart, you can go down 1 chain in between your hearts. So if you're currently doing 4 chains, reduce down to 3. If you're currently doing 3 chains, reduce down to 2. If you're currently doing 2 chains, reduce down to 1. That just keeps the sleeve more fitted to your arm. I'm going to leave you to do that, and I'm going to get my 1.5 pattern repeats finished, and then I will come back to you to do the edging on the sleeve. Alright, I will be back with you shortly. Okie dokie. So we have got 2.5 pattern repeats on our sleeve. Okay, and what we're gonna do the finishing now. Now, I mean, obviously, if you want your sleeve longer, make your sleeve longer. This is, like I said, the fit of this cardigan is entirely customizable. But I just wanted a 3/4 sleeve because I think it's cute. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go round and pick up a single crochet for every stitch around the edge of my, let's do that again, that one there. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1 first of all, chain 1, and then going to pick up a single crochet. Now we are no longer working in continuous rounds, so I'm also going to get myself a stitch marker. Hold on 1 second. Okay, 1 stitch marker acquired, and I'm going to pop that in where I chained 1. Okay, so stitch marker acquired. We're going to, like I said, we're going to pick up a single crochet for every stitch on the previous row. So I'm not going into the chains, I'm going around the chains to oh my goodness, 3. Right, I'm going to get this done off camera and I will be back. Not having much luck. So I'm going to get this done off camera. I'll be back once I've finished the row. Okay, so I've done a row of single crochets around the edge. So I've twisted my sleeve. Hold on. There we go. So I've done my row of single crochets around the edge. I've joined it, so I slip stitched into the first stitch. That's where I'm at now. I've also chained 1. I'm now going to do another row of single crochets all the way around. I don't need my stitch marker anymore. Oh wow. Do you know what? I'm going to pop it in anyway. That's my starting stitch. I'm going to do another round of single crochets all the way around. Try and get this done quickly so I can finish off the sleeve. I'd really like to move on to just the final finishing touches, really. Yeah, I'm going to get this next round of single crochets done. And I will be back once these are finished. Oops. Okay, so I've got my 2 rows of single crochet done around the edge. I've also chained 2 to start the next row. And the next row is going to be a round of half double crochets all the way around. So I'm going to get these done. And we will join back up. I wonder if it's this hook or if it's me. I don't know if I'm just having a bad crochet day where I just can't grab the thread, or I'm dropping the thread. And I don't know if it's the hook or if it's me, but I'm getting super frustrated with the way things are happening with my crochet today. At least it's turning out pretty. But anyways, that's my problem to deal with. I'm going to get this row of half double crochets done, and then when I come back, we're going to do the finishing row, which is a row of crab stitch or reverse single crochet. Well, I will show you how to do it on the sleeve. There is also a separate tutorial for crab stitch on my page if you need a refresher, but like I said, I will be showing you how to do it on this sleeve anyway. What I try to do when I design a project, if it's got like a specific stitch in it, then I like to do a separate tutorial for that specific stitch. So when I did, I want to say it was the netted duster, the fishnet duster, which was a pattern I was testing for Luna Still. That had crab stitch on it, so I did a tutorial on crab stitch using the fishnet duster. When I did my project basket, which has got the long puff stitch in it, I did a separate tutorial for the long puff stitch. I think my headband has got alpine stitch, so I have a separate alpine stitch tutorial. My moss stitch jacket, I've got a separate moss stitch tutorial, that kind of thing. So there are separate tutorials on my page for the various different stitches that I've used in projects. I want to say over the years, but it's only really been 6 months. Can't believe my page has only been going for 6 months. It feels like I've been doing this for so much longer. But yeah, so we're nearly at the end of our row now, so I'll keep doing this row of half double crochets with you. I do love a row of half double crochets. I think it's a beautiful stitch to use, and I think to finish off a project with a row of half double crochets and a row followed by a row of crab stitch, I just think it gives absolutely beautiful results. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Let me finish this row. I'll show you what I mean. I'll pick up the other sleeve and I'll show you the finish on it. It's so pretty. I think the combination of the two stitches just works so well together. So we're almost at the end of our row of half double crochets. And we'll slip stitch into that first stitch like so. And now we're not going to chain, but I am going to show you the other sleeve if I can find it. There we go. So there, it's got a row of half double crochets and a row of crab stitch on it, and I think it just, look at that, it's such a pretty stitch. I do love it. I do feel like I need to experiment a bit more with crab stitch, you know, but that's, again, sorry, my mind is wandering there. You didn't need all of that information. Right, so when we work crab stitch, so ordinarily you work from right to left, okay, but when we work crab stitch, we work from left to right. So instead of going into, sorry, put that back in, instead of going into that stitch there for our first stitch, we're going to go into this stitch here and grab our yarn, pull it through, grab our yarn again and pull it through. Now keep it relatively loose, don't tighten up when you work crab stitch because it'll pull your work very tight. The tension for crab stitch is quite tight and you don't want to pull it too tight. If you pull it too tight, you won't be able to work through your stitches. There we go. And that is frustrating. It's even more frustrating this way because it's not easy to pick up your stitches again. Okay, so that is how you work crab stitch. You go in to the stitch on the on the right. So the stitch behind you, you grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn, pull through 2 loops. Then into the stitch on the right, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn again, pull through 2 loops. And this is how it works. So I'm going to finish this row of crab stitch and then I'll come back at the end of the row. So once we've finished our row of crab stitch, you move your yarn to the front of the hook and we're going to slip stitch into the stitch below it on the inside, and then chain 1 and just pull your yarn through that chain. And I shall snip my yarn off like that, and there we go. That is the sleeve done. I'm going to grab a tapestry needle from my little ghost full of, I've turned my ghost into a pincushion, and I'm just going to thread my end away on the inside of the sleeve. So we're going to follow the stitches in the crab stitch, but on the inside of our stitch. And I'm going to get that done, but that, I'm not finished. I'll finish threading that away shortly, but that is your sleeve finished. So from there, I'm going to take a bit of a break and I will come back and we will work on the finishing for the neck next. Okay, so we are now starting on the finishing stitches for the neck. Now, in order to do this, we need to kind of even out this as much as we can. And I have got a set of stitches that should help us do that. So I've joined on the upper right side with the right side facing. So I've joined with slip stitch into the first double crochet there, and I've chained 2. I'm then going to do 2 half double crochets into the top of these 2 double crochets here, and then in this space from here to this double crochet here, we're going to do 11 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into this one we're going to do 5 and 6. And then 7, 8, 9, 10, and into the side of this double crochet here, we're going to do the 11th. Okay, we're then going to work a single crochet into the side of this double crochet here, 1 into the side of this chain, the bottom chain there, and then we are going to work into the tops of these 2 double crochets here, and we're going to do single crochets into both of those. So 1 and 2. Okay, pull this out a little bit, and that is what our neckline looks like so far. Okay, we're now working on this section here, and we're going to work 4 half double crochets over this set of chains here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 4, there we go, and then into this next chain here we're going to work 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They are all crunched down to one end, so I'm just going to pull them out a little bit so they spread across the chain, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet into this stitch here. Okay, so we're now going to work 5 half double crochets into this section here and into this chain here. So we're going to do the first one into this stitch here, so that's 1, and then 3 into the chain gap, 1, 2, and 3, and our final one is going to be into this space here. Okay, we are then going to work a single crochet into the bottom of this stitch here. So 1 single crochet, and then 1 into the side of the next stitch, like so. Okay, so pull this out a little bit. That is what our neckline looks like so far. All right, I know it's not straight. I know it's not straight. We're going to work on that again on the next row. But for now, we are going to single crochet across the rest of the shoulder, across the entire back, and across the first part of the shoulder on this side. When we get to the bumpy bit, we are essentially going to reverse what we've just done. So we'll get all of our single crochets done first, and then I will come back to you when I get to this side, or you can't even see that, that's not on the camera, when I get back to this side of the neckline. So again, single crochet all the way across, where are we? Across this last bit of the shoulder here, all the way across the back, and then across this first part of the shoulder on the other side. So we're going to get that done, and I'll come back to you when we get to the bumpy bit on the other side of our cardigan. Okay, so we've got done our single crochets all the way across the neck and the back of our cardigan, and we're now going to work our stitch pattern that we did on the other side into this side. So to start, we are going to do 2 single crochets into the side, 1 and 2, and then we're going to work 5 half double crochets in this space here. So we're going to do 1 in there, 1 in there, and 3 in the middle here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oops, come on, there we go. Okay, we're then going to work 5 single crochets. So 1 into the space here and then 5 into the chain space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull that straight, there we go. Okay, we are then going to work 4 half double crochets across the next chain space. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we're going to work 2 single crochets into the tops of these 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, and then 2 into the sides. So 1 and 2. Okay, and then from this space here into the end of this chain space here, so across all this way here, we're going to work 11 half double crochets. So we'll go 1 and 2, 3, 4, 2 and 4, and then 5, 6 into the top stitch here. 7, 8, 9. Oops, I missed a spot. Hold on. So that's 8, 7, 6, 5. So we've done 2, 3, 4, 5 half double crochets so far. 6 and 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 2 single crochets in the top of these 2 double crochets, and I'm going to work another single crochet into the very top of this chain on this side. Okay, and that's where we're at so far. We're then going to turn our work. Okay, and this is what we're working with this round. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. We're still going to fill up these little gaps in here. So we're going to chain 2 and start with some half double crochets. Okay, so we're starting our second row, and we're going to even out this pattern a bit more this row. So we're going to start by chaining 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to work 11 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We're going to work 2 single crochets next, so 1 and 2, and 2 slip stitches, so slip 1 and slip 2, and then we're going to work 9 single crochets, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, need to pull more yarn. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then where are we? And then 8 half double crochets. 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let me just have a look at that and see how we've done so far. Oh yeah, that's much better. So 8. I think we're going to do another 2 half double crochets. So 9 and 10, and then 2 single crochets. 1 and 2, like so. So that is pretty much straightened out now. We might need another row, but we'll check on that in just a moment. So we're at the point now where we're going to single crochet back across the shoulders and the necks, and then we'll come out at this side over here. You can't see that, sorry, I pulled it off camera. We'll come out at this side over here. We'll finish off our single crochets, and then we'll reverse what we've just done on this side. So I am going to get these single crochets done, and I will be back when we get to the other side. Okay, so we've single crocheted back across the neck and the shoulders, and we're at the opposite side where we need to level out again. So I'm now going to do the opposite of what we did on the other side. So I'm going to start with 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2, and then we've got 10 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're then going to work 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm going to do 2 slip stitches. Whoops, 1 and 2, then 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then 11 half double crochets. Although there might be 12 half double crochets just because of the chain at the end here, but we'll see first. Let me just work those 11 first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and like I said, there's going to be 12 just because we need to finish off on that final stitch. So that last half double crochet is going to go in the top chain from our previous row. So there we have, it's more or less straightened out now. I'm going to just take a minute, pop this on, have a look at the neckline, see how I feel about it, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we've straightened out the neckline like we needed to. So we're now going to work a row of reverse single crochet even, or crab stitch back across all of the stitches. Now I'm going to be working this with the wrong side facing me. It doesn't really matter when it comes to reverse single crochet, but because I need the stitches to be, I need to be going from left to right rather than from right to left, I'm going to be doing this with the wrong side of the garment facing me. So exactly like we did with the sleeve, we're going to take our hook into the stitch on the left, grab our yarn, pull it through, and then grab our yarn, pull through both loops. Okay, take our hook into the stitch of the left, grab our yarn, pull it through, and then grab your yarn again, pull through both loops. Okay, and we're going to keep doing that all, whoops. That happens to me a lot when I do reverse single crochet, so I need to hold on to my yarn. So we're going to keep doing this stitch all the way back across the front and the back of our cardigan. Okay, so I'm going to get this done and I will come back to you when I'm at the other side. So this is what our neckline is looking like at the moment. Can't get the whole thing on camera, but it is looking beautiful. And we're now going to work on the finishing for the bottom of our cardigan. So the finishing for the bottom is very simple. We're going to single crochet across the bottom of our jumper from one side to the other, and then we'll do another row of single crochet, then a row of half double crochets, and then we'll finish off with a row of crab stitch. So we'll do it step by step, kind of together. I'll start each row off with you, and we will get this done. So we are going to be working into, or essentially into the chains, but I don't really work into the stitch for the single crochets. I'm going to work around the stitch for the single crochets. And again, I'm going to be weaving away my end as I go. So I'm going to be working single crochets all the way along the bottom. So every stitch that has double crochet in it will be a single crochet, and every chain will be a single crochet. So that is how we work out where all the single crochets go on the bottom. You do it stitch by stitch, match up stitches for stitches. Every chain is a single crochet, every stitch is a single crochet. And that is how it gets done. So I don't know how that got done. Okay, so 1, 2, everything's a bit tangled now. Okay, I'm going to snip that bit off, I think, because it's just getting in the way. Yeah, I've got giant scissors at the moment. I don't know where my my crafting scissors are. I'm sure I'll find some snippers somewhere, but for now, we carry on. Okay, so I'm going to get this row of single crochets along the bottom done, and I will come back to you when I reach the other side. So I've worked all the way across the bottom of the cardigan in single crochet, as you can see. I'm now going to work back all the way across in single crochet again. Very simple. We're going to start with a chain 1 and literally just single crochet into every stitch that we've just created. So I'll get that done, and when I'm at the other end of the row, I will come back to you. So I have made it back across the bottom with my second row of single crochets. As you can see, this is where we're at the moment. I'm now going to follow that up with a row of half double crochets going across the bottom, and that will be the final row before the crab stitch. So I'm going to get the half double crochets done. I'll come back to show you the crab stitch, and then we'll get that done as well. So I have finished my row of half double crochets. You can see we're now gonna do our row of crab stitch, and I mean, I've shown it to you twice already, but you take your hook into the stitch to the right, grab your yarn and pull it through, grab your yarn, pull through both, into the stitch to the right, grab your yarn, pull it through, stitch to the right, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn, pull it through. And we keep working this all the way across until we get to the other side. In every stitch, it is a reverse single crochet, so we are still working single crochets just in the opposite direction that we normally would. Okay, so I'm going to get, oh, dearie me, I'm going to get my reverse single crochets finished off, and I will show you when we get to the other side of the cardigan. So we have finished off the bottom now as well. Isn't that pretty? I think that's a lovely finish for the lacy design. So that's where we're going to stop for now. The next parts are the down the fronts, and we're going to be doing again exactly the same thing, picking up single crochets and doing, so we'll do one row directly on there, another row back, then a row of half double crochets, and then a row of crab stitch, and we'll do that on either side as well. So as you can see, we have finished the edging on the cardigan. So bottom neck and both of the fronts have been finished. The only thing I've got left to do now is to sew this closure on at the front, and that's the cardigan done. I hope you have a blast making this. If you do make it, please tag me in any posts on Instagram or TikTok or even on YouTube. I would love to see what you guys make. Happy crocheting.